jQuery Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML, and Ajax is loading data in the background and display it on the web page. To display it on the web page without reloading the whole web page. So we can refresh particular part in the web page to display the data or to insert the data into the database. So several methods are jQuery load method. So load is the jQuery Ajax method, and load method is a simple but powerful Ajax method. So load method loads data from a server and puts the return data into the selected element. Loads the data from a server and puts the return data into the selected element. So load method syntax is $, selector dot load method. So in this load method we can provide three parameters: URL, comma, data, comma, callback function. Okay, so the required URL parameter specifies the URL you wish to load from load the data from the server. So that is nothing but a URL, nothing but a API. Okay, and the optional data parameter specifies a set of query strings. Okay, we can pass the values to the database, or based on the values we can retrieve the data from the database. So for suppose, so we have the 10 records in the database, you need 6 number record, so you can pass the value 6 to the database and you can read the data 6 data from the database. So that is the usage of data parameter. Okay, you can pass the corresponding values send along with the request. An optional callback parameter is the name of the function, and which is used to execute the function after load method completed. So after complete this load method, callback function will be executed. Okay, for suppose, so I'm creating one HTML form. Okay, load method example. Here one jQuery doc.txt file is there. Okay, so this is our file. So I want to read this text into this web page using load method. So take one button type equal to button, and value load content, and id equal to btn load. So I want to display the data, that is content, in paragraph. So now copy this library, JQuery library, script file, document ready function, button load dot click. When you click on this button, this function will be executed. So I want to load the data. Okay, jQuery doc.text file data into this web page. So I want to display this text data in the paragraph using load method. Hash p1 dot load method. So here give the text file name jQuery doc.txt. Okay, total content will be displayed in the paragraph. So run this example. Okay, so this is the content specified in the text file. Okay, last text is this. So this is the example of load method. So load method is used to read the data from the specified resource. Okay, so next methods are Ajax get and post methods. Get and post methods. So these are commonly methods used for commonly methods for request or response between a client and server. So client is application, okay, user's browser, and server is the remote server to read the data from the server. So we can give the request to the server to get the data from the server. So get method is request the data from a specified resource. Request data from the specified resource. I mean server. And post method submit data to be processed to a specified resource. Submit data to store in the server. Okay, so these are the three methods: load, get, and post methods. So here now I want to show you the one example with database MySQL server. Here I am using MySQL server 2012 version. Okay, Microsoft SQL server. So we have to give the credentials, login ID and password, and connect. So database is connected in my system, local system, and one sample DB also is there. Okay, and without any tables, Prasad DB is the sample database. So I want to insert the data into the database, and I want to read the data from the database. Okay, I have one already explained example to the previous batches using Ajax request get post methods. So this is the example. I have explained this to the previous batches. So this is actually, you can assume this form as a registration form. Okay, like first name, last name, email and phone number. Okay, so these are the fields available: first name, last name, email and phone number. So I want to create here one table in the database. So this is the table. So create one table. So I want to insert employee details in the database. So employee first name. So these are the fields in the database. So these are the data types. So this is column name, okay, field names, and this is the data type. So this nvarchar data type supports any type of data. Okay, any symbols, any special symbols also supported. Not only characters, not only digits. So any type of data it will support. And one more field is last name. This one also nvarchar. And phone number. So set as primary key. So no need to insert ID here. So automatically it will take one by one numbers. Okay, and save this table as table emp in this database. Okay, save this. So enter a name for the table. So table emp. So table is created here. Right click on table, edit top 200 rows. So there is no data here. Okay, empty table. So now I want to insert employees information through this application. Okay, using Ajax request. So actually this application done in .NET. So this form is designed in HTML form, in HTML. Okay, and Ajax requests are written using this JQuery. So I will explain. So first of all, design this form. Okay, employees form, first name text box and last name text box, email and phone number, and two buttons, insert and display data, display emp data buttons, two buttons. So enter employees information in these text boxes, first name, last name, email and phone number, and click on this button. Okay, save button. So when you click on this button, so this button call this JavaScript method. Okay, insert employee method. So this method is here. So when you click on this button and save button, so this method, this function is executed. In this function, Ajax request is here. Okay, $.ajax type equal to post. Okay, we are submitting data into the database. Okay, and URL is the in real-time applications. So we have to provide here API. So but in this example, I have written web methods in the coding only. Okay, to understand the code, so I have written here only. So but in real-time applications, this code will be as APIs. Okay, so this is the method, web method. So this method is executed. Okay, and this method. So when you click on this button, insert button, this URL goes to here into this web method with this data, first name, last name, email and phone number. So here step by step is executed. So first this statement is, so we should connect to the database, so that we have given server details. Okay, server name and database and server username and password. Okay, SQL server in my local system, database name and username and password. And this is the statement to execute the query in the database with the values. Okay, so this is the query in the database to insert the data into the table. So insert into this table, send fields names, first name, last name and email and phone number, and values. So these values for these fields, first name, last name and email phone number. So this method connect to the server and run this query in the database using this connection. Okay, this is the CN is the connection object for this method. So using this CN connection object, this query is executed in the database. Okay, and this is the data table. Fill the data in the table. Okay, da.fill.dt. So this data is filled into the database. So if data is successfully inserted, this this query is executed and return the last insert ID. Okay, scope identity is a predefined method in SQL Server. So using this method, so we can retrieve the last insert record ID. So based on this ID, we can find out whether data is insert or not. Okay, dt.rows.count. Okay, if data is data, so it will return the inserted message, otherwise error message will be returned. Okay, this web method return the error or inserted method. So this method executed with these values. Okay, this fname colon, so text box value and last name text box value and email and phone number. Okay, these are the values to insert the data into the database. And the content type is application JSON. So we are passing data as JSON and data type also JSON, and this is the success method, success function. If data is successfully inserted into database, this function will be executed. Okay, and display the alert box successfully inserted and display the inserted record in the form. Again, we are getting the data, inserted data, and display the data in the form on the web page. Okay, if any error is occurred while inserting data, so this function is executed and display alert box error occurred. Okay, this part for insert the data into the database, and this part for getting data from the database and display that data on the web page. So when you click on this display data button, this function is executed, get all employees data. Okay, ajax call and type equal to post and URL. So this is the web method. Example form.aspx slash get emp data is the web method. So we are not passing any data and content type, and here success function on success to equal to, so this function is executed if data is successfully get from database, this function is executed. Okay, on success to response is the returned data. So where XML document, so $.parse XML response.d. Response.d is the data in the response object. So we are converting this data as XML and finding the table in the XML document. So here these three statements. So other next, this function will be executed with the customers data. The customers are nothing but employees. So in this method we are creating HTML table, okay, with the headers and rows. Okay, first name, last name, email and phone number, these are the header columns. And after that, this part is displaying data, employees information in table format. And finally we are closing the table and we are applying this table into div table, okay, into div tag. Okay, we are displaying the HTML table in div. So now run this example. So here this is the form, first name, last name, email and phone number. So I want to insert the employee data, last name, and phone number. Okay, save. Okay, successfully inserted. You can observe here the form is not refreshed. Okay, total form is not refreshed. Okay, again immediately data is displaying in the on the web page. So without reloading the whole page, you can refresh particular part in the web page. So now directly you can click on display data button. So you can observe here immediately data is displaying on the web page. So without reloading the form and without waiting to uh, get the response from the database. Okay, so Ajax is fast and very easy to insert the data and read the data from database. Okay, so this is the Ajax request. So as well as you can do delete and update functionalities also in this example. So you can insert, you can add, edit and delete options in this table format, and you can implement those operations also. Okay, this is the code. So this example is done in Visual Studio. Okay, .NET. Okay, this function is executed, get emp data. So when you click on get employees data, so this query will be executed. Select star from table MP. We are getting all employees records, right? So that's why star. If you need any particular employee information, so you need to specify that employee ID and that employee information here instead of star. So this command executed this query in the database. Okay, with this connection. Okay. So next, so after complete this Ajax CSS method. So CSS method sets are written one or more style properties for the selected elements. CSS method sets are written one or more style properties for the selected elements. Okay, for the selected elements. So syntax is dollar symbol selector dot css method. To provide the multiple CSS properties to the selected element, you have to use flower brackets. Okay, for single property, no need to use flower bracket. For multiple properties, compulsory we have to use flower bracket. So like this we can provide color, red color, background color, okay, like this we can provide multiple CSS properties to the selected element. So take one button here only. type equal to button, and value equal to CSS method, and ID equal to btn CSS, and take one div tag. This is my sample div. Okay, I want to add some CSS properties to this div tag. So when you click on this button, ID equal to div1, btn CSS dot click dot CSS. So directly we can copy this. So instead of color names, you can use color codes also. Okay, HTML color codes. So now run this example. So this div tag is there. Okay, when you click on this button, okay, style is applied. Okay, CSS property is applied to the div tag. So like this method, we have CSS manipulation. CSS manipulation. So CSS manipulation contains 4 methods. First one, add class. Second one, remove class. Third one, toggle class. And fourth one, CSS. So already this method is explained. So this is the CSS manipulation method. This is CSS also. So add class method adds one or more classes to the selected element. Using this method we can add one or more CSS classes to the selected elements. One or more classes to the selected elements. So syntax is dollar symbol selector dot add class method. So we can define class names here. Okay, class 1 comma class 2. So like this we can define multiple one or more CSS classes to the selected element. So already defined classes. So take one HTML form, CSS manipulation, take one button, value equal to add class id equal to btn add class div tag. So div tag contains some data to display. Okay, so this is the example content. So create one class mycls1. So background color red color and text color text color is white color and div height 300 pixels and width also 300 pixels. So create one more class mycls2. Okay, my class 2, and here we can provide border 2 pixel border solid. Border color is which one you can define, red color border. Okay, so green color we can define and border is 4 pixel, padding 20 pixels. Okay, two classes is there. So when you click on this button we have to add, okay, we have to add these two classes, or one or more classes we can add, but in this example we are adding two classes. Okay, so copy this library, script tag, document ready function, btn add class dot click next dot add class mycls1. So div id is div1. So based on this id we are finding div tag and applying class to the div tag. So when you click on this button, so now run this example. So there is no styles applied to the div tag. Okay, only div tag is there. So click on this button. Okay, stay class is applied to the div tag. Okay, background color, text color, height and width is applied, and one more class is there, my class 2. So we can add this class also. like this, comma my class 2. Okay, we can add one more class like this. So we can add multiple CSS classes to the selected HTML element like this. So run this example again. Okay, so these two classes are added to this div tag. So this class contains some properties and this class contains some properties. So these two classes are applied to this div tag. So now I want to remove one class from the selected div tag. Okay, I can use this remove class method. Using this method we can remove one or more classes from the selected elements from the selected element. So syntax is selector dot remove class 1 comma class 2. So like this we can define the class names. So take one button for remove class, btn remove class, so copy this button id dot remove class. So I want to remove second class only. Okay, so two classes is applied when you click on add class button, but when you click on remove class, so I want to remove class 2. Okay, add class, two classes added, remove class. Okay, border and padding class is removed. You can see here only one class is there. So when you click on add class, two classes is there. When you click on this button, only one class is there here. So one more thing is toggle class. So toggle class method toggles between add class and remove class from the selected element. Method toggles between add class and remove class. Here from the selected remove class methods, and syntax is also like this. So take one button, toggle class, btn, toggle. So when you click on this button, so toggle class method will be executed. Okay, and toggle class method, add this class, so add this class to the selected element. If this class is not there, if class is there, remove the class from the selected element. Okay, toggles between add class and remove class. So first add class, okay, second class is removed, again we can add. Okay, add class, remove class. So instead of using add class and remove class methods, you can use only toggle class method to add the classes or to remove the classes in the single button.